Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. On the agenda tonight, as it is International Women's Day, we're going to have an all-woman band, or more accurately, probably an all-girl band because they're so young, but these are called The Warning, and this is going to be one of their tracks called Survive. So let's get these ladies up on screen and see how they get on.
Don't come to me saying that you cared, that I was the one who was never there. Don't come with your lights in the air. You keep blaming me and it ain't fair. Don't come telling me that you're worried, that I'll be hurting if you're gone. Don't come to me saying that you're sorry. Your words mean nothing, your words mean nothing at all. Your words mean nothing at all.
I'm just going to jump in here because we've had quite a taste of their sound and their playing so far, and obviously three-piece here. So we've just got guitar, bass, drums. These are just sisters, three sisters here, and what I love about this setup, of course, playing live and getting such a great sound as a three-piece, but I'm going to come to that in a second. The other thing is when I say about playing and singing at the same time doubles the difficulty. So right across the board here, we've got, I think, Daniela, who's doing the singing here but also playing at the same time, and I really like the way that the track actually starts because we've got Paulina on drums here, and I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce her name. It's Mexican and I'm not Mexican, but I'm just going to go with that. But I like the way that it's almost like a Broadway musical, the way that she starts her singing, also very animated, the way that she's acting it out. So it's a cool way, it's a different way to start a track that you're not normally used to seeing. But the thing that strikes me about these girls straight away is obviously they've got that ability, they've got that connection being sisters, but they've got that independence. And what I mean by that is that they're not in one of these huge record label deals where they're just getting plastered everywhere. They're just really getting on with their business. And just to highlight that point, they're on Patreon as well, which is like a crowdfunding site that I'm part of as well. And it just goes to show that they're trying to do things on their own. And I've always said this about so many bands over the years who have done quite well, but they don't actually earn any money because that all goes to the record label. So if you can stay independent, that is the key. And these girls are really going about it the right way. Digging into the analysis of the performance, just individually and as a whole, what you'll find is that, especially in this case, where you've got three musicians who are also vocalists, they can sometimes get tied down by the microphone, which you'll find, obviously, if you've got a band with a front man who's not having to play an instrument, he can run run around the stage and put on a show if he wants to. When you've got 3 vocalists, obviously that musical quality level is going to increase, but at the cost of moving around the stage and putting on a show. But these girls do exactly what's needed. They're putting the expression and the movement in whilst they're performing. They're not just standing still and doing nothing. The bassist, who's 12 by the way, I mean, she puts on a great show, just moving backwards and forwards, getting a bit of energy into it. Obviously the drummer as well is really putting in an energetic performance to the point where you could see there she chipped one of her sticks, and I was watching her, waiting for her to change it because you think that is going to go pretty soon. But sure enough, she just kept going, just didn't miss a beat apart from on the snare, obviously because she now didn't have that stick anymore, just quickly changed it over and was straight back into it. And I want to bring something up that I guarantee you has absolutely flown under the radar with most people that watch this video, because the Warning are obviously great players, they can sing well, they can harmonize, but they are also absolutely switched on with technology. What I mean by that is they are playing to a click track. You can't notice it because it's so seamless, but they're playing to a click track. So they've each got in-ears with in-ear monitors so they can hear a click track that then starts the track. And I know this for a fact because I've queued up the original recorded track with this performance, and it is perfectly in time to a click track. And you can see here by the drummer, she's got her iMac next to her, and that is what is producing the really subtle piano that's in the background that obviously is not being played because the bassist who played piano on the intro is now playing bass, but the piano stays in there for the whole track. And also during the verses we get a really cool low mixed arpeggio in the right ear, which you can just hear. I've got really kind of reference speakers, they're called, so they're really detailed, you can hear everything, so you can hear these little bits that are just adding in, and that's why when everything kicks in it's so full. But the great thing is, this is something that big record labels do and really big acts do because they've got all that backing in order to organize it. And this is what I love about this band, is they are absolutely switched on. They know how to get the best out of their current setup and their sound, and I guarantee you that most people watching this video, and probably all of the people that were watching them live, wouldn't have noticed these really subtle elements that have been mixed in to complete their sound. So it's really cleverly done, and the only reason they can do that is because the drummer is so good, so solid playing to that click track. It really does ramp it up to another level once you understand the goings on behind the scenes, that these girls have got to be so spot on with their playing for 5 minutes. If they dropped out with that click track, all those other elements coming in, it would be an absolute mess, but they don't, and it's so well done and they make it look so easy that you don't notice it, and that's the point. But you've got to be this good to pull it off. Let's get back into it.
That I was like no other. I never knew this was a game, and when I was at every place. Oh, 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 yes, that you were gonna keep your promise of loving me always. But now I know that it ain't true, and I'm so glad that I left you. Oh, I know I will survive, even if you're not by my side. Think this time I'll say goodbye.
I'm just going to quickly jump in here because this is where you can hear that piano that's in the mix, but then nobody's playing it. So that's coming from that backing track from that iMac. It is so well done. It's seamless. And it's all because of their tightness together, playing to that click track. And let's not forget that this is a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old on bass in terms of the tightness, but also the songwriting. This is a really cool track. It's got some attitude in there, and especially the drummer, she's got almost that gritty quality to her voice that is shouting down the microphone, so it's really cool as well. But let's just check it out until the end. And there we have it. What I love about this as well is just playing live. I mentioned this over and over again about how nowadays it's almost like the default that you'll watch an artist perform on a TV show and it won't be live, it's all pre-recorded. The most you get is a live vocal, but then miming the instruments. Whereas here, they're all playing live, they're all singing live, and once you've got those central elements of drums, guitar, bass, and vocals, they're then adding in those extra elements from the iMac that really do fill in the sound, but it's fundamentally just a live performance. If you took away those extra little elements, it wouldn't make them any less tight. They're not relying on technology. They're using technology to embellish the sound or embellish their sound. That's the important thing of having your own sound and your own live sound. And that's exactly what they're managing to achieve here. Another thing that I love about watching performances like this, being a musician myself and having played live quite a lot, you notice little telltale signs that show that it's absolutely live. Like at the end there with the outro, with the bass run that's going on, and Daniela on guitar accidentally caught the G string, just that open G string, just accidentally hit it and muted it. But again, just shows that it's totally live. Also on the solo, there's a little part where she should have gone up a tone rather than a semitone, but it doesn't matter. That's the important thing, because that is live. Sometimes you will get a tiny mistake here, but it's all part of the energy. And that's something about this band that absolutely encapsulates their sound, is that it's not just a band playing standing still with no energy and no atmosphere. They absolutely put everything into their tracks. And this is what I say about top bands, when they've got that ability to push their sound to the edge and they almost let go and just really get into the music. And that's what these girls do at such a young age. It's so impressive. But I'd much rather watch a performance that had, by the way, 2 tiny little mistakes in there. It doesn't matter at all. I'd rather watch a fully live band with just tiny little mistakes than something that is so pristinely finished from a CD miming. You know, that is just does nothing for me. And it seems to me that they're just playing for the love of it and the enjoyment of it, and it just really comes across when they do perform. And I really do hope that they can stay as independent as possible. People think that getting a record deal is the be-all and end-all, and that's what you need in order to be a big star. Well, you might need that to be famous, But to make money from your own music, no way. Back in the 70s and the 80s, you needed a record deal for that cash injection so that you could then go off and record your single or your album. And once that's done, you then need the money to put into promotion, advertising. Once that's done, you then need the money to duplicate your records or your CDs so that you can send it off to people. And that is all the record label's business. That's what they do. That's their job. So when you apply those 4 points today, you realize that they're not applicable anymore. The first one, recording. You can buy your own software. You can watch YouTube videos on production, people telling you how to produce well and how to get a better sound. So if you've got the patience to do that, you can make your own music in your bedroom if you want to. The next point is getting the promotion, trying to get your songs out there and on the internet, like YouTube. This channel, for example, this is my channel, but people are watching me doing this video. You can do your own promotion on the internet. You can set up your own website. So again, you don't need a record label for that. Then, when somebody does order your CD, it doesn't cost that much to go to a CD replication company and order your own CD to be replicated. So that's why I love seeing bands like this, who are young, who have actually got their brains switched on as to how the music industry actually works now. It is not about record deals anymore. There are amazing people out there that will support unsigned and unknown artists if they like their music and they believe that the person or the band are talented. And I can tell you that firsthand because I've got amazing support from my patrons over on Patreon. So having support on Patreon makes the world of difference to what I can do, and is the reason that you're even watching this video. So I am living proof of the business model that you can put together that works, because there are fantastic people out there that will support you, and artists have to believe this. Just put yourself out there, just put everything that you've got into your work and into your music, and you will get the support that you're looking for, just like the Warning are. Such a great performance here because there are so many elements that come together in order to get this sound live, and they just absolutely nail it. And you have to remind yourself of the ages of these girls as well. So young, just with everything ahead of them. But thank you so much for suggesting this video for me to take a look at, and keep those suggestions coming in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!